Hey everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful day so far. I am just dropping this special little clip into all the episodes. So, no matter what episode you're listening to, this is actually pretty current as of July 2024. I wanted to come on here and just say a big thank you to Earworthy because the Life Shift podcast was just named the best overall podcast of the year in the first Earworthy Independent Podcast Awards. And you've probably seen some articles written about the Life Shift podcast before, written by Earworthy. And now he is launching from his online publication, he is launching these yearly winners of independent podcast awards. And these are specifically for indie podcasters. We are those that wear all the hats. We create the show. Some people write the show. We're producers, sound engineers. We troubleshoot all the tech. We do any kind of research if we need to. We host the shows. We distribute the shows. We do all the things that relate to our shows because we love it. And it's so nice to see my name in a list with some other amazing podcasts like Multispective, which won Best Life Lessons Podcast. Salad with a Side of Fries won Best Health Podcast. Bippity Boppity Business won Best Business Advice Podcast. And there are so many more. And so I just want to come on here and say thank you to Earworthy for not only doing these awards every year and just honoring some of us indie podcasters that sometimes feel like we're just shouting into the void, but we're not. We're just doing what brings us joy, and hopefully through that work it brings other people joy. In my case, for the Life Shift, I hope that each episode finds the ears that needed to hear it the most so that they feel a little less alone in their circumstance. But also, Earworthy writes all these amazing publications pretty much weekly, every week, every weekday, I should say, where he writes on Blogger, Medium, Substack, Tumblr, Vocal, Many Stories, and for other places. And he really just highlights the independent podcasters. So thank you, Frank, for everything you do with Earworthy and for recognizing all of us in the first Earworthy Independent Podcast Awards. If you'd like to read more, please head to medium.com/EAR hyphen WORTHY. Thanks again and enjoy this episode. Hello, my friends. This is another preview to a bonus episode that we do over on the Patreon feed. And so, with these bonus episodes, I like to go back to former guests and just catch up with them based on what we talked about on their show and see if things have changed a little bit. Maybe they had some feedback from people that they didn't expect, or maybe they just learned something new about themselves by sharing the story. And so, in this clip, I wanted to share just a little piece of the latest conversation that I had. If you're interested in checking out the full bonus episodes, you can head over to the Patreon page, which is www.thelifeshiftpodcast.com/join. And there is a special tier that gets you ad-free episodes, early release episodes, and the bonus episodes. Come on over, check out the Patreon community, and see how you can support the show if you're interested. But without further ado, here's a preview of the latest bonus episode. Hello, my Patreon friends. I am here with my friend Rob, or Robert, or which one do you like?
Peterpaul. Francis is my middle name.
Is it?
Rob is great. Rob works.
Is Francis your middle name?
It is. I also have a confirmation name if you want to really get into it. So
Yeah,
have
I'd like that.
quite a few. Robert, Francis, Thomas, Peterpaul.
Okay, so like all of the, I can say this because my name is Matthew John. It's very like these generic boy names that you got all of them. And
Yes,
you're welcome.
all the saints were very holy.
I tell people sometimes that my parents maybe had like this, like a Bible dartboard, which sounds really blasphemous, but in which they were just like picking names. So anyway,
That's awesome.
Robert, Peterpaul, thank you for being back. We recorded your episode in May of 2023, and then it was released on 7/11/2023. And that was like a happenstance event falling on the 11th, which an 11 is a special number for you and your family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was wild that that happened that way. I was obviously so honored that you asked me the first time. I'm honored to be back. And reflecting on it has been interesting. You know, the number 11 means a lot to my family and I think many others because it is technically some kind of angelic number when you do research on it, but don't fact check me. It means a lot to my family because my brother Thomas was diagnosed with cancer when he was 9 and then he passed away at the age of 11 on 9/11 at 9:11 p.m. And I actually looked at the clock unknowingly as a child at 9/11 when we were all in the hotel room and he was at the hospital with my parents and the adults. Not knowingly, I looked exactly at that time. And I'm not joking, Matt. I kind of forget this happens, but at least every week, at least once, I will look at the clock randomly at 9/11. It used to happen more frequently. It's interesting that it doesn't as much anymore, or maybe I'm just not as aware of it. But yeah, the number 11 sort of like a wink from him now. So when I see that and when I saw that on your episode, it just felt like, oh wow, he tuned in, it was meant to be.
And something recently happened. I can't remember what it is, but there was another 11 in which I don't know, I posted something. It was related to you, and it was an
Yeah.
11, and I can't remember what it was, but I think there is something about those numbers. I have something very similar. And one time I got the nerve, or I don't know if it's nerve, but I went to see a medium, and they were like, your mom like is communicating with you every time. Do you see a number all the time, basically? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, that's how your mom is like letting you know that she's there. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, so maybe you have something
That's
similar
so
with your
interesting.
brother.
Did you enjoy your experience with the medium? I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah, I think it's hard because sometimes like I think there's a lot of skepticism in my brain. I'm not someone that's super spiritual, or I don't know if I believe all that stuff, and I don't know if that's informed by just losing someone so early in my life. But I went into it kind of open-minded, and what I liked about it was that this particular person, she didn't uh, she asked you to like create a fake email address to sign up for it, because
Hmm.
she didn't want you to think that she was going to like Google you or figure out information about your life. And I didn't have the podcast yet, so nobody knew that my mom was dead. Now everyone knows because I talk about it every single week. But it was really interesting. And, some of it was like, oh, yeah, that might resonate. And others were, I don't know. So I'm still on the
Wow.
fence, but it was interesting. And some of the stuff that did connect, maybe I just need to hear, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, but it kind of was this nice little part of a healing journey. So
That's the great part about it. If it brings you some kind of joy, to quote Marie Kondo, I guess, or peace, it was worth it. And I encourage everybody out there who's grieving or has lost someone to look for these signs and celebrate when you see them because I don't know. I don't think you have to believe in them, although it's nice to. I think it's just something that can bring you comfort.
I mean, even if you attach that is your brother sending you a signal,
Yeah.
that can bring you peace or joy or bring good memories to you. So yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. It's a guide.